And now, Signature Dish, a WETA original series.
Today on Signature Dish, we're staying up for some late night eats. We'll feed our cravings with some classic Canadian comfort fare.
Today we're making poutine, just potatoes, cheese curds, and gravy.
And you're gonna sort of gussy it up a little bit here.
Just a little bit.
Get a blast of Sichuan heat.
This is for the extra spicy.
This is no joke. And finish our night with a standout slice. It looks like we'll be making a little bit of a mess with some flour.
Flour's part of the uniform, so get ready.
Hot damn. I'm Seth Tillman, WETA producer and DC native, and I love good food. That's why I'm traveling to restaurants across the DMV, and each stop looking for the one thing you just gotta try. That signature dish. I'm getting things started in Adams Morgan. In spite of all the changes around DC, year after year, the neighborhood's nightlife scene keeps burning bright. One of the newer arrivals is La Mont Royale, a French-Canadian disco. The multi-level spot was opened by chef Bart Hutchins, who also helped open the sandwich shop Fight Club.
During the pandemic, I was working at this sandwich shop, and we were putting sandwiches in boxes and handing them to Uber Eats drivers like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I really wanted to get back to what bars and restaurants could be, and this gathering place and people coming together. And that really inspired us to do La Mont, because we wanted this like massive space, tons of people in it, great food, like the party always happening. Part of the reason we did a French-Canadian restaurant as opposed to just a French restaurant is I wanted the French food without the pomp and circumstance. That way we focus on serious French food and strip away all the artifice and really just have the ingredients there. It's cold in Montreal, so we get much richer food and in much larger portions. You need those calories, you need that energy in a place where it's negative 20 on a random Saturday. Montreal loves a party. And so on a Friday night, number one, every place is raging. The music is always really loud, everybody's dancing. And number two, that's not separated from good food. So it's combined, it's sort of a cohesive culture. I've been a chef in DC for 7 years. And one of the things we love to do after a shift is go out and eat. By the time a chef's done, it's 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock. And your options are Jumbo Slice, McDonald's, and some sort of ghost kitchen you can find on Uber Eats. We love that stuff and there's a place for it, but we wanted to build La Mont so that you could have both those things in the same place.
Chef.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Doing all right. Looks like we got a little rustic Quebec fare in the works here.
Yeah, absolutely. Today we're making our signature dish, poutine.
All right, love poutine. Pretty simple dish though, right?
Extremely simple. It's just potatoes, cheese curds, and gravy.
But I'm guessing you're gonna sort of gussy it up a little bit here.
Just a little bit. We put a lot of work into each of those 3 ingredients to make it the best we can. And today we're gonna like pump it up a little bit with chanterelle mushrooms.
Oh, nice. And are these just regular old russet potatoes that you
No, not at all. These are chipperbecks. They're from Canada. They have a really low sugar content to keep from getting really dark and brown, and a low moisture content so they never get mushy.
So you need the right kind of potatoes to be frying up for this.
Yeah, before we opened, we tried 9 different types of potatoes, and this is the one we settled on.
And this stock, what kind of gravy you guys putting on top of this thing?
Yeah, so our gravy is made with duck and chicken, 24 ducks, 24 chickens. We make a stock with that for 24 hours, which we call our 2-bird gravy.
And of course, I know it wouldn't be poutine without cheese curds as well. Do these have the famous cheese curd squeak?
You know, sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. So let's find out.
Let's find out.
Yeah. No.
Not much of a
not
squeak,
even
but
not even a little bit.
Certainly delicious.
Yeah, they're really good. We try to find the best ones we can. A lot of them come from Vermont, a lot of them come from Wisconsin.
And so how did the mushrooms become part of this dish here?
Right, so really simple dish. So one of the things we do to elevate it is we have a whole list of add-ons, right? You can have truffle, you can add duck confit, foie gras, and today we're doing one of my personal favorites, which is chanterelle mushrooms.
Looks like these mushrooms have already been seasoned up a little bit.
No. So because it's summertime, we're using lobster mushrooms, which have this red hint to them. I guess why they're called lobster mushrooms.
They're beauties, and they're kind of in the chanterelle family.
They are, yeah. So we're gonna turn this burner on, and while we get our pan hot, we're just gonna dice these up. We wanna give you like a giant portion. We want you to actually taste these ingredients.
Well, this is rustic food, so you want a nice hearty portion.
Hearty
size
portion,
as well.
big portion. Now that our burner's really ripping hot, we're gonna start with a little bit of butter. And then we're gonna bring our mushrooms in. So when you're caramelizing mushrooms, you don't want to add salt too early in the process because the salt will pull water out of it, and that actually keeps them from caramelizing, because what you want is a dry surface and those sugars that rest on the surface of the mushrooms will cook and caramelize.
That's a good little tip for the home cooks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna salt them at the end after you sort of got that nice browning on them.
Got it.
So now that we've got some color on these mushrooms, we're gonna bring in our garlic and shallots. We're gonna let those saute together. And now we're gonna start with our salt and pepper. And then, as you can see, we're starting to get really dark around the edges. So we're gonna stop that process with a little bit of white wine. Now we've got those sauteed up together, nice and seasoned. We're gonna bring some of our gravy in and heat that up together. So I'm gonna let this continue to saute for another 30 seconds to a minute. And while we're waiting on that, we're gonna put our chipperbeck potatoes into the fryer until they're nice and golden brown. So once those are nice and crispy, we're gonna pull them out of the fryer. We're gonna pile on cheese curds and then smother it with our two-bird gravy. And to finish the dish, we're gonna pile on a large heaping of our mushrooms.
Chef, this looks great. Hearty and delicious. What are we drinking with it?
We are drinking a Quebecois Old Fashioned, so rye whiskey and maple bitters that we make in-house.
Maple bitters. Well, cheers to our friends from the north.
Cheers.
Delicious.
That'll do it.
Knife and fork food?
Most people are drunk by the time we get to this point, so fork maybe, but you cut it if you want.
All right, I'm gonna start with one of these lobster mushrooms. That just hits the spot.
Yeah?
Oh man, those mushrooms, that nice earthy flavor to complement that really rich gravy on top.
We're not messing around.
And I like how the potatoes have stayed nice and crunchy down here on the bottom.
That was the biggest challenge. You know, the first time I went to Montreal and had poutine, I didn't even really like it because the fries got mushy underneath the gravy. And so we put a lot of time and effort into finding fries that would hold up to the gravy and not fall apart over the course of eating it.
I see what you mean about a simple dish, but with the right ingredients, just takes it to the next level. And I am an oyster fanatic, so I am more than happy to see these on the table as well. What kind of oysters are these?
Yeah, this is sort of the second most important part of our food program is Canadian oysters. We focus on Canadian oysters because we're a Canadian restaurant and because I think they're better. So these are called Fortune oysters. They're from New Brunswick. Really briny and kind of sweet.
All right, give this a shot. Sometimes I like to have the first oyster, no toppings needed.
I don't think these need any.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Wonderful.
That's really good.
And I'm guessing to get the full experience, I gotta come back on a Friday or Saturday night when things are really popping off here.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I never imagined I would be a chef for the place that has security and bouncers out front of the door. But something I take a lot of pride in is still putting out really good food and using good ingredients during that.
Well, my Adams Morgan party days, sadly, are a little bit in my past, but I could definitely see myself coming back for more of this awesome poutine. Thanks, Chef.
Hey, thanks, Ed.
My next stop is just a mile south in DuPont Circle. Along the busy 17th Street corridor is Astoria, a late-night spot for top-notch cocktails and dishes packing a Sichuan punch.
I was born in Qixihar in China, and I was there until I was 11 years old. And then I came to New York. And I moved to DC and started waiting tables. And eventually I got a job bartending, and I decided to open a bar.
Devin's first bar, Copycat Company, opened in 2014.
Astoria was like kind of a sophomore effort for me, and I really wanted to go into the restaurant direction rather than just a bar. So I went back to China. I tasted a lot of food. My cousin took me out to a hot pot place. It was a Sichuan hot pot. I had to tap out. It was so spicy, but it left a lasting impression. Sichuan cuisine is really about all of the flavors combined. So you have nuttiness, numbing, spicy, savory, salty, a little sweet. It's not about any particular one, it's about the orchestra of flavors. I think Sichuan's food is profane. You know, it's not nice. Kind of gives you the middle finger, and you kind of like it. When you go out late and you're drinking, that's precisely what you're looking for. Late night food is about cravings. Sichuan food works because it is a craving. Mala is like a spicy and numbing effect. The mala flavor is 100% addictive. And once you get into it, you want more and more. You know, it's like there's like no limit to how numbing or how spicy it can get.
Chef, nice to meet you.
What's up, Seth?
So, looks like you're going to be packing a little bit of a punch here today with all these peppers.
Oh, for sure. We're making the water boiled fish today. It's exemplary of Sichuan cooking and of the mala flavor.
So, water boiled fish. I know this dish is going to be a lot tastier than the name might imply.
Correct. It's anything but water boiled. And, you know, Sichuan cooking is about kind of blending different chilies, blending different flavors, and really layering. It looks super complicated, but I assure you it's not.
All right, how are you going to get this dish put together?
First, we're gonna flavor the oil. So we're adding ginger and scallion and a little bit of cilantro.
And this is just to get these flavors into the oil.
Exactly. This is the seeds from the chili segment. So
Spicy
this is
stuff.
for the extra spicy, right?
That's what you're giving me today, the extra
You're
spicy?
gonna get the extra spicy. Just a blend of spices. Doubanjiang is fermented fava beans. And then you can kind of smell,
Oh, yeah.
you know, we start with this, we also end with this. Once the oil gets like a nice color, and then we just strain it and then set it aside, okay? So now we're gonna blanch these chilies a little bit. And really is to take the edge off a little and also prevent it from burning once we fry it at the end. Now we're gonna cook the fish,
What kind of fish is this, Chef?
branzino, and then we marinate salt and pepper, like a little bit of gin, citron peppercorns, ginger, scallion. So first we're gonna fry the DBJ. This is the pickled chilies that we make in-house and then just pureed.
So a lot of fermented flavors going in
Exactly,
here.
so
Okay.
fermented is kind of like the base flavor. My oil is nice and red. Ginger, garlic, scallion goes in.
And that's kind of the holy trinity in Chinese, cooking, right? All
correct.
right.
It's in everything.
And everything.
Okay? And then this is the water part for your water boiled. Okay? Now we season. So we do white pepper. This is salt. A little bit of mushroom salt. And this is a sherry vinegar, soy sauce, and cooking wine. And we're just gonna let that reduce a little bit. You wanna taste that?
Oh, sure.
Here you go.
All right, there you
Yeah.
go. If that's
Okay.
the water the fish is going to boil in, I think we might need to rebrand the
Okay.
name of this dish.
Yeah.
That is so flavorful.
Once it comes to a full boil, it reduced a little bit. We're gonna start boiling the fish.
So you're kind of looking just to poach it a little bit here.
Exactly. Okay, and then just let it kind of cook, do its thing. Don't want to cook it too long.
You don't want tough fish.
Exactly, because we're gonna pour like boiling oil on top of this. Once I think it's pretty good, it's about like 90% there. We put it on the dish, and then we're just gonna let this thicken up, reduce. And we'll come over and add the broth on the bottom. And then we're gonna dress this fish. So these are serranos and Thai birds.
Nice.
And then we also put cumin, lao gama, 13 spice, and scallions and garlic. And we're just gonna layer this on top. And we're gonna put a little bit more garlic, a little bit more scallions.
It's looking beautiful, Chef.
So we're gonna come back to the oil that we flavored in the beginning.
What a nice color.
And this is the chili that we were boiling from earlier. Huh? So that comes in. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna fry it until the chili's gonna start yellowing a little bit, and then they become crispy. You're gonna get some like kind of fried chili flavors. And also to really pull out all that numbingness and all the things into the oil, because the oil part is the soul of this dish. And you really want to push it to like just before they're gonna burn.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Everything about this dish is taking it right to the edge.
Extreme,
All
exactly.
right.
It's not as spicy as it looks. It looks menacing. Okay. And then we're gonna just top with tons of cilantro. And that's it. And that's the water boiled fish.
That is magnificent. Let's go dig in.
All right, let's go.
All right, chef, I'm ready to get beat up a little bit by this dish. What are we going to be washing it down with, though?
Classic tiki cocktail called the Zombie.
Oh, yeah, that's the original tiki drink right there. Got super strong dish, you got a super strong drink to go along with it.
Exactly.
Well, I love tiki drinks. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Oh, that's good. All right, so how do we get started with this?
So you definitely want to eat this dish with rice.
It's going to take the edge off a little bit.
Yeah. Most Chinese dishes are meant for eating with rice. You know?
Get my chopsticks
yeah.
here.
And then you want to just, pick the fish out of the oil.
All right.
And there's some vegetables on the bottom. There's some sprouts and there's some watercress. Yeah. It's not as intense as you think it is.
Well, it might not be intense spicy right off the bat, but it's definitely intense flavorful.
Yeah.
mean-
And it was going to build.
Look, got a little Sichuan peppercorn in there too. It's like a little numbing already happening here too. And once your mouth gets nice and numb, you can just keep going and going.
Exactly.
Oh man, and that oil just pervades everything with flavor and gives you a nice little coating on your palate. And I always find it so fascinating with spicy food, where you get started, you're in a lot of pain, your eyes start watering, but you just want more.
You just keep going, yeah. And you crave that feeling, and you want more and more spicy. And the numbing aspect is like the same thing. The more tingly you get, the better.
And the fish too, one of the things I love is the poaching in that boiling, what we'll call water. It was, I guess, cooked just long enough because it's really nice and tender too.
Because you par cook the fish and you finish with the oil on top.
And this is not a dish for one. I mean, this is meant to be shared with a large group, right? You go out with your friends, come
Absolutely.
here. I mean, you could pack this whole table with people and still probably not finish this dish.
Yep.
I see the spices taking its toll on you too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like that you're suffering a little bit too. It
Yeah.
makes me feel a little better. I'm trying to
No.
put on a brave face here, but this is no joke.
No.
Whew. All right, well, chef, I like that you can come here if your energy's starting to flag after a long night out. Get this dish, it'll wake you right back up.
Yeah.
Carry you through maybe another few rounds of drinks.
Absolutely.
This was outstanding. Thank you, chef.
You're very welcome.
I'm wrapping my night and the second season of our show in Shaw. Across V Street from the 930 Club is Andy's Pizza, a place to grab a slice late, all the way until 3 a.m. on weekends.
I grew up in the Bethesda Rockville area. I always had cook jobs growing up, but pizza and cooking is like accountants and auditors. We study the same thing, but we do different work. I started making pizza every night. Every Monday, I would have friends come over. I'd be talking about yeast percentages and fermentation times, and all they cared about was whether or not we ran out of beer. But something in me was just obsessed with pizza.
Andy opened his first store in Tyson's Corner in 2020. A year later, he headed to Las Vegas to compete head-to-head against other pizzaiolas at the International Pizza Expo.
We're in this room with 110 other pizza chefs, and everyone's got these rare foraged ingredients. And I go in there, I have a bag of our shredded cheese, a can of tomatoes, and 6 dough balls. But, the judges just wanted to see someone make technically great pizza. And so that's what we went for, and we won. So we got back from winning, and Washingtonian puts out an article. It says, "Can someone check on the New Yorkers? DC just won the World Pizza Championships." Every single store went nuts. And all of DC wants to try it.
Since Andy's win in Vegas, his mini empire of pizza shops in the DMV has grown rapidly, now standing at 8 with 2 more on the way.
Shaw was our second location ever, which we were super excited about. We have great neighbors at 930 Club. It's such a unique environment. The show's let out, the place just gets packed, but it's already pretty busy. There's hordes of people from the show coming in, and there's just an energy in here that you don't really get at any other Andy's Pizza store. So we love this store. It's just a great place where DC finishes their night.
Chef,
Hey, Seth, good to see you, man. Welcome to the kitchen.
See you as well. You are the Andy, I've heard.
I am the Andy of Andy's Pizza. Some people think that it's just a name, but I exist.
All right, it looks like we'll be making a little bit of a mess with some flour, but I'm excited. What are we making?
Flour's part of the uniform, so
right.
get ready. We're gonna make a burrata margarita pizza as our signature dish. All of our dough goes through a 3-day process to really make it great. First step is we come in and we set our rim. We're looking for something nice and even. And this is my favorite part. This is where you come up on the back of your hands and you stretch a pizza. I've been doing this a long time, and one of my favorite party tricks is to look you in the eyes, to stretch this, and I can feel it on the back of my hands. I can feel how cold the dough is. I can feel how it's opening up. And I know that when I go to lay this pizza down, that it is going to be an 18-inch round on our peel.
Some people learn how to juggle, other people learn how to make a perfect 18-inch pie.
That's right, everyone
Love
has to have a party trick.
It's beautiful.
So we start by treating our crust a little bit just to make sure it's perfectly delicious. I'm not gonna tell you what that is, but I know that you'll enjoy it.
Little trade secret.
Little trade secret. Next up is our tomatoes. This is Stanislaus tomatoes from Modesto, California. They're known because they're getting these peak freshness tomatoes from the fields to the can in 6 hours. And this is just tomatoes.
No
There's
other
salt,
ingredients.
no oil, no garlic, no
Wow.
nothing. It's sweet, it's a little bit acidic. This is an 8-ounce scoop. This is a 22-ounce dough ball. We make sure that the right amount of toppings go on the pizza so it can stay crispy.
It's an exact science. You're not winging it here.
Yeah, that's right. And this is called the spoodle. A mix between a spoon and a ladle. And this flat bottom really helps me make sure that there's no streakiness in the pizza. I don't want this pizza to dry out. So we do a little bit of this shredded mozzarella just to add a little bit of fat. But this is gonna help keep a lot of that flavor in that sauce so it doesn't cook out in the oven.
And you are right. That is
It
does
is
not
just
look like
a little
that
bit, that's
much.
right. I'm gonna go ahead and get our traditional fresh mozzarella. This mozzarella is from a company called Grande Cheese. They're from Wisconsin. They really care about their farmers and their cows. They've got pedometers on those cows. You know how many steps they're taking. A pizza that's as simple as this, you've really got to be careful with what goes on it. If it's not good, the pizza's not gonna be good. While we've been sitting here chatting, this pizza has been sticking to the bottom of this wooden peel. Since the dawn of pizza, every New York pizzaiolo lifted it up and blew under it. Then COVID happened. Guests are looking inside this open kitchen saying, don't blow on my food. My cashier, Jose Miranda, turns around and says, chef, use a squeeze bottle. And sure enough, when you shoot that under, it separates that dough right from that peel.
Are we going to name the technique after him?
We have. He's in all the training materials. All right, Seth, let's take this to the oven.
Let's do it. All right, so we got a conveyor belt going on here.
Yeah,
All right.
so this has slats of stone on it, almost like tank treads. So we're still getting that stone oven bake with the convenience of the stone conveyor. And so this is gonna ride through at about 700 degrees.
So traditional conveyor belt oven's going to get up to what temperature about?
They only go up to about 550 degrees, and they're chain, right? So it's actually jets of air passing through chain link. But that true contact directly on the stone is what gives you a super crispy pizza. Let's head over to the other side.
Let's check it out.
All right, so this is where we get our final touch from the cook, right? So we want to make sure that that pizza is evenly cooked all the way around, and we'll give it any finishing adjustments here.
What kind of color are you looking for on that crust?
We're looking for this brown spotting here, right? And so we want the crust to be fully brown, and the goal is to keep this on the oven for as long as you possibly can. You want it on those stones, you're gonna get a crispier pizza. So this looks just about perfect. Let's go ahead and get this topped. We want this pizza to stay crispy, so you'll see we put it right on that cooling rack there. Now, what's important to know is that I can pick this up and look at the bottom, and I can see that it's nicely done and is very crispy.
Do you have fingerprints left?
No, I don't. Yeah, the cops will never find me. Fresh basil to start off our margarita pizza. We always use whole leaf. Anytime you cut it, you start to lose some of that essence. And in this pizza, you want every bite to be a little bit different. Sometimes you get a full basil leaf, sometimes you get just tomato sauce, sometimes you get a lot of cheese. So now that we have that down, we're gonna give it a cut before we finish with the rest of our toppings.
I like the sound that it's making, just going right through that crackery crust.
Next up is our burrata. So clean hands always. Someone actually hand-tied this knot, and I'm going to lay this down in the middle. Now, burrata is fresh mozzarella cheese filled with the stracciatella of mozzarella cheese, and that has that extra creaminess to it.
It's like mozzarella in a mozzarella purse.
It's mozzarella in a mozzarella purse. And we are just gonna make sure that we spread nice bites all the way around our pizza. You certainly don't want to cook this. This is a textural experience that you're trying to get. This is our 100% extra virgin olive oil from California. It's in one of our finer bottles here to show its quality. You want enough of this that you are actually taking a bite of some olive oil. It's spicy, it's peppery, it's adding its own notes. It's not grease that you're supposed to blot off. And then this is Parmigiano Reggiano. We always use 24 month, and we really like this feather shred. And so we're gonna come around and finish our pie.
And I want to eat it.
Pizza goes best with beer, so we're gonna have a couple of cold beers while we're here. We're gonna drink them out of the same containers that we drink in kitchens. I'm not sure you've ever drank out of this container before.
This will be a first for me, Chef, but thank you for initiating me in the ways of the kitchen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So let me show you real quick. We're gonna come in and we're gonna pick up this slice. Even with the weight of the burrata, this holds. If I'm bending here, this tip didn't break. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna give it a go, Chef. It
Right,
holds. It
that's
holds.
right.
Hot damn. I know we started with great tomatoes, olive oil, cheese, but the basil, nice and fresh, and that burrata, the nice creamy consistency. This is just on a whole nother level.
This is a craft we work at every single day.
Well, it's a thing of beauty. It's hot out of the oven. I really think it would be a shame if the crew didn't have a
You
chance
gotta
to
share
eat
it. You share. It's 18-inch pizza. We can't finish it. Let's share it with the
Let's
crew.
see. Plates? All right. Last segment, last episode of the season. Mm-hmm. Gotta have a little fun, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's the boss. We gotta help him out.
Jordan, take that, my friend. Thank you. Now, Mike, you look like a man who needs a slice of burrata pizza. What do you say? There you go. Tony, audio? Audio likes to eat?
Audio likes to eat. Yeah, that's right.
This is too good now. Oh, you want the big piece? There you go. Save you for later, Austin? All right, there you go. Martez, we got a world-class pizziola right here. You gotta enjoy the fruits of his labor.
So, welcome to Andy's, man. I mean, you know, it's a complicated process. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of setup. And at the end of the day, when you come in, you're eating a slice on a paper plate while you walk down the street. But we really hope to give people an experience of a really great pizza shop without all the frills.
Well, I got a great experience. I see a burrata knot that I hope has my name on it.
Yes, it does.
I'm also just proud as a fellow Maryland kid that you took those New Yorkers down a peg or two.
That's right, that's right.
And I'm glad you're doing it right here in the DMV. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in. Cheers.
Cheers.
To find out more about great food in the Washington metro area, visit weta.org/signature dish.